Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the devotees for today's Bhakti
Hare
Shastra.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. So let us start the class. I think the other devotees may join and reports.
Prabhu, Arya Govind Prabhu has gone for spiritual picnic.
Okay. No problem. The recording will be there. He can hear later. No problem.
Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति शपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तो स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, in our ongoing Bhagavad Bhakti Shastri class, we are at the last end of the module 2, module 3, that is the Jnana Yoga section. So, today we will, hopefully, we will able to complete our this module. Yes. So we're going to start from 72 onwards. There are two sections, 72 to 73. Arjuna is firmly fixed, and then 74 to 78. The last section, Sanjay's prediction and real life. Take 72. Kochite tatshritam partho taya ekagrinu chetasha kochit ajnana sammoho pranashtoste dhananjaya. O son of Pritha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? And are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? The Lord was acting as a spiritual master of Arjuna. So here Lord was asking Arjuna that after hearing, have you heard this thing attentively? With an attentive mind. That is Chetasha. Ekagreno Chetasha. Attentive mind. And then what Lord is asking, that then whether your ignorance and illusions now dispelled. So that means if we in indirectly Lord is giving a message to all of us that if we hear Bhagavad Gita, this conversation, this divine conversation between Krishna and Arjuna with attentive mind, this is most important thing. Ekagreno Chetosha. Then our ignorance and illusion will be dispelled.
Last class.
Will be dispelled. So the Lord was acting as a spiritual master of Arjuna. Therefore, it was his duty to inquire from Arjuna whether he understood the whole Bhagavad Gita in its proper perspective. If not, the Lord was ready to re-explain any point or the whole Bhagavad Gita if so required. Actually, this is very wonderful question, wonderful explanation what Srila Prabhupada is giving, that a spiritual master, a preacher, should be ready to re-explain the entire class to a student who is having this attentive mind to hear. Okay, or else in one another world, if he missed some points or he is not able to, but he has the interest to hear Bhagavad Gita, to hear Krishna's message, to hear Krishna Katha, a preacher, a teacher, a guru should be ready to repeat. So this is one important qualification that Srila Prabhupada is explaining, and Krishna himself is giving this thing. Yes, obviously, sometimes due to the limitation of time, even though we have the desire, but we are not able to do that thing. But obviously, that around one-to-one conversation should be there. Today also, I was hearing in temple. In here, I am in Delhi, in Radha Parthasarathi temple today. His Grace Prithu Prabhu has given a wonderful class. So after the class was over, the class was officially over around 9 o'clock, 9:30, but Prithu Prabhu was there till 10 o'clock, and he was giving his divine association to the devotees. They were asking questions, clarifying many things. So this is actually the preacher's duty. And I have heard once Tamalkar Shai Maharaj has said that preaching starts after the class. And I think you have heard that uh, wonderful quotation by Srila Bhakti Sindhu Saraswati Thakur, that the one-to-one, the personal guide, personal coaching is more important than public preaching. Okay, personal coaching is required. That is actually what Rupa Goswami has given in Pudashamrito, Guchchamakkhati Pricha. So this is what actually the real import of this thing. That a student is there, a teacher is there. If you see most of the, apart from Shukdev Goswami giving Bhagavatam Pravachan in front of huge audience, apart from that, in most of the cases, the conversation was between one-to-one conversation. If you see right from the Bidur and Maitri in the Bhagavatam, whatever Shukdev Goswami has spoken, those episodes are mainly one-to-one teachings. The guru and disciple were having conversation. That's it, right from Bhagavad Gita. If you take Narad Muni giving instruction when Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of Koyadu, if you see uh, Narad Muni was instructing uh, Prachini Parishad, that was also one-to-one. If you see, uh, you can also name any other conversation. Vidura and Maitri Muni was having conversation. Krishna and Udbhava was having conversation. Udbhav Gita has come out from that. If all the conversation was, most of the conversation was one-to-one. Hardly we will find any conversation where a huge group of devotees were sitting and preaching was going on. Now it is happening in Kali Yuga. The time is very limited, and that's why it's something like that. But earlier it was one-to-one personal coaching. So this is very important, and there teacher should be ready to explain if there is any doubt. But the ultimate result is what? After hearing Bhagavad Gita, one should, one's ignorance and illusion should be dispelled. So this is the thing. Sometimes we interpret Bhagavad Gita for many things. Yes, in Bhagavad Gita, so many things are there. A management leader can derive many lessons. Okay. A politician can derive many lessons. A Vaishya can derive many lessons. A Karmakandi people can derive many lessons. Bhagavad Gita is a summarized version of entire Vedic knowledge. But what is the ultimate goal? Here Krishna is very clear about that. whether your illusion, whether your ignorance, avidya. Here, what ajnana? Ajnana timinandhasya jnananjana shalakaya. This ajnana should be dispelled. Pronashta, completely dispelled. Pronashta, word has been used. Pronashta, prakita rupena nashta. Not only nashta, completely dispelled. So this is very important thing. If not, the Lord was ready to explain. Actually, anyone who hears Bhagavad Gita from one of our spiritual master like Krishna or his representative will find that all his ignorance is dispelled. All his ignorance is dispelled. We need to read Srila Prabhupada's book very scrutinizingly. Each and every word, each and every letter, each and every word is very important how Srila Prabhupada has used all his ignorance, not a partial ignorance. So till our all ignorance is dispelled, we cannot say we have learned Bhagavad Gita completely. So this Bhakti Shastri course will end. The Bhagavad Gita study will might be ending today in our class, but that does not mean we have understood everything or I have explained everything properly. Because I am also learning. It is not very easy thing to understand. One lifetime is very less to understand Bhagavad Gita's one verse properly. At least what I have realized. The Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book written by a poet or fiction writer. It is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any person fortunate enough to hear these teachings from Krishna or from his bona fide spiritual representative is sure to become a liberated person and get out of the darkness of ignorance. So regarding this darkness of ignorance, actually I was trying to share one very nice bhajan from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I have it in Bengali language, but not in English or English fonts. It might be there in English font. Uh, the song is like that. ওরে মন ক্লেশতাপ দেখি শেষ অশেষ অবিদ্যা অস্মিতা আর অভিনিবেশ দুর্বার রাগদেশ এই পঞ্চ ক্লেশ. So regarding this avidya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing, klesho tapo dekhi je ashesh. Klesho tap. Klesho tap means, I think you are understood. Klesh means that there are three types of kleshas are there. Okay. So we know these are the three kleshas. Huh? What are the three kleshas? Adi bhautik kleshas, adi dovik kleshas, adhyatmik kleshas. But here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving a different angle. He is writing avidya, osmita, and Obhinivesh and Rag and Desh, these are the five Panchoklesh. Avidya means ignorance. Oshmita means ignorance means when we forgotten our real identity. That is called avidya. Okay. When we forgotten our sharup. So that is avidya. And after we forget avidya, what happens? Oshmita. Oshmita means we identify. First of all, we forget our original identity. Then we misidentify with our new identity that we have got based on our present material position. Presently, I am an Indian. Presently, I am a father. Presently, I am a son of that person, father of that person, husband of that person, brother of that person. So many new identity is imposed on us based on our present situation, and we accept that. So that is called Oshmita. And then Obhinivesh means we get completely absorbed in that identification. So first of all, misidentification, forgetting the real identity, then getting a misidentification, and then absorption in that misidentification. So that is avidya, oshmita, obhinivesh, and then raga. Rag means then having a after when we get absorbed into that misidentified identity, we develop a raga and anurokti. Raga means we develop attachment. And when we develop attachment, from attachment comes desha and videsha. Because because that attachment is not fully giving us the full satisfaction of the of Sangshiddhir the full inner satisfaction. That is, সবই পংশ পর ধর্ম যত ভক্তির অধক সজে অহৈতুকী অপ্রতিহত জয়াত্মা সুপ্রসিদ্ধতি. We are not getting that full satisfaction, and that's why we are having this desha and viddesha. Okay, we have this danda. Danda moho danda moheno. We become this danda, and this danda creates another illusion. That is illusion, sammoho. So when the avidya, when this ignorance is dispelled, along with that, this sammoho means this, the absorption in a misidentified identity will also be dispelled. Okay, I will try to find out the wonderful song in English font, and I would like to share. And in relation to this thing, in Bhagavatam, Brahmaji also explained this thing. I am forgetting one in some one canto. The first verse is like that. Let me try to find out if I can share that verse. They are also from there actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur, from this bhajan, whatever our acharyas have written, they are coming from Vedic scripture only. They have not concocted any new concept or new terminologies. They are coming from Shukdev Goswami actually, from Bhagavatam, from other scripture, from other things. So I will try to share that verse also. That verse is also very important verse. I'm just forgotten. I will read long ago. The is the starting of fourth canto, the first verse, some chapter creation.
What is the song name, Prabhu? Bhajan name?
Bhajan name, bhajan name is, I think, something. I am presently the reference that I'm having. It is a part of that bhajan. I have extracted from that Bengali font. I think it will be related to some Avidya or something like that. Okay.
Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur, yes. It is starting with this thing. Ore mon, klesho tap dekhi je ashesho. Ore mon, in that way, if you can search, you will get it. And I am trying to share Brahmaji's also. Yeah, I'm not able to get it.
Is it Ore Mana Balo Nahi Lage Ye Samsar?
No. Oremon, it is Oremon klesho tapo dekhi. Klesh. Oremon klesho tapo dekhi. Okay, we will share, we will search. Let us first complete this section, otherwise time will go away. Okay, so so this is the sequence of getting into avidya, getting into Shammo. Okay, so that has to be dispelled. So it is not very easy thing. We are conditioned very deep rootedly. So that's why Arjuna has been asked by Krishna. Next verse, Arjuna Vacha. Arjuna says, Nashtamoho smritirlabdha taya prosadatmayachyuta sthito ashmi gato sandeho karishye vachanam tavo. So this is the position. This is the answer should be there. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. Tat prasada. This is very important. Tat prasadat. By our own endeavor alone, we cannot achieve this position. What we can do by our own endeavor? That has been explained by Krishna in earlier verse. Can anyone say? What can be our endeavor to attain this, to dispel the illusion? Nashta moho smriti labdha, what Arjuna was telling, how we can come, what should be our endeavor from our end? What should be we will be doing? Can anyone say? From our end, what will be the thing? Here Krishna is telling Tat Prasada. So everything depends upon Krishna only.
We should have the desire
Desire
and
for desire for what?
desire for understanding the absolute
And so for
and
that, what is the qualification
and
to have?
surrender.
Surrender. So how the surrender will be reflected? That whether we are surrendered or not. What
Uh,
particular thing Krishna has mentioned in just earlier verse, and I have also discussed. Just going back to just I am going back. This is very important to understand. Ekagrena manusha. Srutam ekagrena manusha. We have to hear with, have you heard this with an attentive mind? We can try to hear this with an attentive mind. That is from our end, only endeavor that we can do, or we can show our surrendered attitude that we are really want to surrender, we really want to dispel our illusion. We don't want to remain in this misidentified misidentified condition. How we can show this to Krishna? We can show this to Krishna by trying, by genuinely endeavoring to hear Krishna's message, Srila Prabhupada's message, our spiritual master's instruction, attentive with an attentive mind. Ekagreno chetosha. This is the only thing we need to do from our end. And rest, Krishna will be doing, our Gurudev will be doing, Srila Prabhupada will be doing. But our endeavor is only this Srutam. Srutam ekagreno chetosha. So say this thing we need to remember while we are chanting also. We have to hear each and every syllable with an attentive mind. And that is the very, very difficult thing to do. So this is what should be. And then Krishna's prasada will be there. That is what Krishna Arjuna is telling. Nashto moho smriti. Then our moho, why we are getting inattentive? Because we have attention in something else apart from Krishna. That's why it is becoming very difficult. Otherwise, our original consciousness is only to Krishna consciousness only. Prabhupada has written in many places in his purport. Our original consciousness is Krishna consciousness. But from that original consciousness, due to this panchoklesha, due to this avidya, ushmita, obhinivishto, we are now in obhinivishto in some misidentified matter. That's why even though we are hearing, we are not attentively hearing. So it is not an overnight thing to do. So that's why we need to give time to ourselves. Okay. But if we try genuinely, okay, we have to try, we have to give a humble attempt, depending on Krishna, that I really want to dispel, I really want to get out of from this moho. Krishna, please help. So with that helpless, with my own endeavor, I am not able to do, but I want to do. I want to hear attentively each and every syllable. I want to hear each and every sloka that you have given in Bhagavad Gita. What my spiritual master is giving, what Srimad Bhagavatam is giving, what Srila Prabhupada is writing. I want to hear it. Hearing is also silent. Like when we are reading Prabhupada book, that is also hearing from Prabhupada. One to one, Prabhupada is giving a lesson. Today I was shocked to hear one pastime what uh, Prithu Prabhu has shared in today's Bhagavatam class. He was telling that this is Chandramouli Swami Maharaj. With Chandramouli Swami Maharaj, this has happened. Chandramouli Swami Maharaj was very, very attached to reading Bhagavatam, studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So one day, this has happened 2-3 years ago. It was amazing. Chandramouli Swami Maharaj was reading Srimad Bhagavatam with full absorption, full attention. And all of a sudden, the ambience changed. Something, he was experiencing something different. All of a sudden, he was reading Srimad Bhagavatam, just opening the book. Something changed. Something very wonderful as atmosphere has become. And he heard Srila Prabhupada's voice. Prabhupada appeared there in a voice form, and Prabhupada started reading. For 10 minutes, Prabhupada read his own purport, and Chandramouli Swami Maharaj was hearing. So and Prithu Prabhu was telling that this can happen with any one of you, because Srila Prabhupada is available for everyone. Spiritual master, a pure devotee is available for everyone. Only thing, we need to show our genuine sincerity. And that sincerity is given in this one phrase, ekagreno chetosha. This is the difference between a scholarly study and a devotional study. This is the difference between a superficial study and an in-depth study. Nothing else. We have to give our full attention, and with the objective to get dispelled our illusion so that we can become a pure devotee. We can completely surrender ourselves. Not to give big lecture, to become a scholar, writing something, this thing, that thing. That is secondary thing. First of all, I want to make myself pure. Nashta moho smriti labdha. That is my objective. That is what Krishna is looking for. That is what our Gurudev is looking for. That is what Srila Prabhupada is looking for. So, this is very, very important, actually, how much we are giving ourselves. And then tat prasadat, then the magic will happen, miracle will happen by Krishna's mercy. We cannot achieve this thing by our own endeavor. Two finger, we should not forget from Damodar Lila, our endeavor and Krishna's mercy. This is what here Krishna is telling in these two words. In one verse, Krishna is telling and Arjuna is telling. Sthito Shmi Gato Sandeho, our all Sandeho will be gone away. Okay. And then what will happen? Korishye Vachanam Tavo. Then Arjuna become ready to fight. So this is the fight, means ready to follow Krishna's instruction as it is. So this is a call of action. After reading Bhagavad Gita, if we remain in the same situation, that means we have not understood anything from Bhagavad Gita. We have to get out to do something. After reading Bhagavad Gita and after understanding something, we should do something for the welfare of this entire world. First of all, welfare of our own thing. We should, after reading Bhagavad Gita, many cases has happened. They have visited temple. They have tried to find out that where I will get the association of devotees, where I will get the opportunity to chant Krishna's name, where I will get to hear about Krishna. They have visited temple. They have taken chanting bead and started chanting. They have done something. That is the effect of Bhagavad Gita. Korishya Vachanam Tavam. So Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. This is the regaining of memory. We will regain our original Sharupa. We will regain, we will understand, at least theoretically, we will understand. We should understand that we are not of this world. Even though we are in this world, we are not of this world. Just like a lotus, just like the drop of water is there on the lotus leaf. Even though it is on the lotus leaf, but it is not absorbed in the lotus leaf. So we have to be also like that. This analogy has been given by Krishna. So I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I'm prepared to act according to your instruction. Act according to your instruction. So this is the final result according to your instruction. Whether we are getting ready to act according to Krishna's instruction or Krishna's bona fide representative's instructions. That will actually give us the lesson whether we have understood something or not. So, very wonderful purport here Krishna Sri Prabhupada has given. We can read. The basic thing is this. Okay, so here Krishna, Arjuna, he was again took up the weapons, his arrow and bow, to fight under the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in our case, it's not that we have to go out and start fighting with all the evils. Because in Kali Yuga, our fighting, our astra is Sankirtan Japa. Sangha Pangastra Sankirtanai. Sankirtana Pravi Jajanti Hi Shumedash. So this Sankirtan astra, we have to go out and preach. We have to show this Bhagavad Gita, distribute Bhagavad Gita, and have to do this Brihat Mridanga and normal Mridanga. Both the things are required. This is the only thing that can save this entire world and also save us. If we participate in Sankirtan, we also get purified. One principle is there: more you give Krishna, more you get Krishna. Less you give Krishna, less you get Krishna. So more you give Krishna. Giving Krishna means taking an humble attempt, becoming an humble instrument of our Gurudev mercy, of Srila Prabhupada mercy. Whatever we have read, whatever we have understood, as it is presented. We may not be fully perfect, but we should present the message perfectly. That's it. We may not understand that Mami Yangshu Jivaloke Sanatana, that I am the part and parcel of Krishna, but this knowledge is perfect. So I have to give this knowledge as it is, and more I will give by Krishna's mercy, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, by our Gurudev mercy. We will understand this. So this is what we have to do. This is actually the call of action. So the next section is Sanjay's prediction and realization. What Sanjay has realized. And here you will see how Sanjay was having almost osteoarthritic bikar, was having ecstatic symptom. Today I was seeing one heading of Mahatma Prabhu's one lecture heading, vitamin E. Are we getting this vitamin E? Are we having this vitamin E? Vitamin E means ecstasy. So many times we think that Bhagavad Gita is a very basic thing. It is a ABCD. That is nothing much hi-fi philosophy. But just see Sanjay's position. We will see Sanjay was feeling ecstasy after hearing Bhagavad Gita. Because he was seeing Krishna and Arjuna was having this conversation. He was seeing right there. And we can remember that South Indian Brahmana. I think that is in which temple? Ramesh. That is, what is that big temple? Sri Ranganath temple. Sri Ranganath temple. That Brahmana was crying. He was the illiterate Brahmana, but he was crying because he was seeing how Krishna has become the Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Krishna has become chariot driver of his devotee. So this is the realization. The simple scene of this Krishna is driving Arjuna's chariot and Krishna is giving Arjuna the divine instruction. This should bring us in ecstasy, but it is not bringing us ecstasy. We are thinking it is very basic thing. We are thinking Bhagavatam is very wonderful. Yes, Bhagavatam is wonderful. That is undoubtedly Bhagavatam. But this is also no less wonderful. Okay. So this has to be absorbed. This has to be understood. So Sanjay Uvacha. Iti aham vasudevasya parthasya cha mahatmana sambad imam asruosham adbhutam romoharshanam. Are we getting this romoharshanam feelings? No. Sanjay said, thus have I heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna. And so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. We are not feeling that thing. We might have heard Bhagavad Gita many times, might have read Bhagavad Gita many times. But why? At least it has not happened to me. I don't know of all the devotees of you here present, but it is very rare thing to experience actually. So we need to experience. That means we have not given our ekagra manusha. We have not heard it with our one-pointed attention. And that's why we have not got the mercy. Even though the message is that's why this Bhagavad Gita is a rahasya. It is the mystery, and that mystery can be deciphered by the mercy of Guru. And if we take the humble attempt and helplessly cry out at the lotus feet of Krishna and Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada that I want to hear attentively Krishna's message, attentively Krishna's name, attentively Srila Prabhupada's instructions. That is the only thing. More we remain at a humble position and avoid all sorts of gossip, all sorts of blasphemy of devotees, then only this thing will happen. So here Sanjay was giving his realization. He has got. So in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra inquired from him, his secretary Sanjay, what happened on the battlefield. The entire study was related to the heart of Sanjay by his spiritual master Vyasa. He thus explained the theme of the battlefield. It was the television has been fit there. Okay. By the mercy of Vyasdeva, the live telecast was happening in his heart and he was explaining. So it can happen with us also if we are ready to absorb in this thing. The conversation was wonderful because such an important conversation between two great souls have never taken place before and would not take place again. It was wonderful because the Supreme Personality of God was speaking about himself and his energies to the living entity. Arjuna, a great devotee of the Lord. If we follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna, then our life will be happy and successful. Sanjay realized this, and as he began to understand it, he related the conversation to Dhritarashtra. Now it is concluded that whatever there is Krishna and Arjuna, there is victory. Wherever there is Krishna is Arjuna. So this word should be there. Bash prasadat shrutavan etan gucham maham param jogam jogeshwaro sharat krishnat sakshat kathayat shayam. By the master of Vash, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism of Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. Just see here in these words, Sanjay is very clearly telling that this conversation has been done by Krishna, no one else. Jogeshwarat Krishna. How come the misinterpreters has misinterpreted in a very peculiar way, in a very misleading way? It is very clear. Sakshat Jogeshwarat Krishna Sakshat Kathayat Shayam. He is giving very clear explanation that it is the Krishna himself is speaking to Arjuna. But then also so much misconception. Vasha was a spiritual master of Sanjay, and Sanjay admits that it was by Vash mercy that we could understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This means that one has to understand Krishna not directly, but through the medium of the spiritual master. Very important principle. The spiritual master is the transparent medium, although it is true that the experience is still direct. This is a mystery of disciplic succession. The spiritual master is transparent via medium, but the experience, it is true that experience is still direct. So this is very important statement what Srila Prabhupada is making, very important point, that the experience is direct. Means what? Means by the via media of spiritual master, we can directly connect with Krishna. The connection with Krishna is happening directly, but through the transparent media. Transparent medium. That's why sometimes there is a, I will not say it is a misunderstanding, but there is a conception that when I am chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, am I directly connected to Krishna, or I am connected to my spiritual master, and through spiritual master I am connected? Can anyone answer this question? While chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, are we connected to Krishna, or we are connected to spiritual master, and through spiritual master we are connected to Krishna?
Through a spiritual master.
Anyone else?
Connected to Krishna
Anyone else?
or Radharani, because we are saying the syllable Hare, which refers to Radharani.
Radha Krishna. I mean Krishna means directly connected to Krishna, means Radha Krishna both. Actually, both are true, but we need to understand that we are actually directly in connection to Krishna. The direct connection is not hindered by spiritual master. Spiritual master is a facilitator. He is facilitating by his mercy, by his instruction. He is not telling that you surrender to me, but we are surrendering to spiritual master to surrender to Krishna. So Guru Padasray is required to get the mercy, and it is always there. It is not that the mercy is not there. Mercy is always there. But that does not mean that the direct connection with Krishna is hindered. By that mercy, the connection is established. So this is the import of this statement.
So usually
Yes.
every time we are only we don't have any access or any eligibility to connect to Krishna, right, Prabhu?
Yes,
We
we
have to
have the eligibility, but spiritual master is creating that eligibility.
yes, once when we surrender to the spiritual master, only then that connection happens.
Exactly. So that is to be done. So while chanting, when we are chanting for whom? We are chanting for Krishna, Radha and Krishna's pleasure. We are directly in connection to Radha and Krishna. But that connection, see, that connection is established by the mercy of spiritual master. Spiritual master's mercy is there. We have followed the process. We have done all the process to surrender to spiritual master. We have taken initiation. We are following his instruction. That's why the person who are not following spiritual master's instructions cannot directly establish the connection with Radha and Krishna, even though they are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So there are many musical groups, they can chant Hare Krishna. There are many Shahojiyas, they chant Hare Krishna, but their chanting is not in direct connection to Krishna. But we, those who are completely surrendered to their spiritual master, surrender means we are following his instructions. If we are following his instruction, and then we are chanting, that means we are in connection. That is the thing, the spiritual. See here, Vasudeva's just very interesting thing. Who is the seminal son of Vasudeva? Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is the seminal son of Vasudeva. And Sanjay is the spiritual son of Vasudeva. Just see the difference. Sanjay became eligible to receive the mercy of Vasudeva because he has completely surrendered to Vasudeva. But Dhritarashtra never surrendered to Vasudeva, even though he was the seminal son of Vasudeva. So that is the main thing. The Guru Tattva is there. We need to surrender to Guru Tattva. We need to take complete shelter to Guru Tattva, the Gurudev, and then by his mercy, we have to chant. We have to follow. We have to connect with Krishna. This is the important. The spiritual master is the transparent medium, although it is true that the experience is still direct. This is the mystery of discipline. This is the mystery. Via media, this transparent via media is there, but this via media is not hindering us to directly establishing connection to Krishna. Okay. That does not mean that that does not mean that we we will be always very enthusiastic to render direct service to Radha and Krishna. No. Whatever service our spiritual authorities is given, we will do. It is not that yo, I have direct connection to Krishna. That means today I will take this flower and directly enter into the altar because I have got Harinam Diksha. I will directly enter into the altar of this temple and will offer the flower directly at the lotus feet of Krishna with my own hand. No, this is not the import. This is not the thing that we have to do all the service. But one service is with us, with which we can directly in connection with Radha and Krishna. That is the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This chanting is in direct connection with Krishna, and that we can do. We can experience this thing. This experience can happen still direct. It is happening through transparent media of Gurudev, but the experience is direct. It is not very easy thing to that I can explain everything of this sentence right now. You just ponder over it, profoundly think of this statement, and you will get a wonderful realization from Srila Prabhupada. I am not eligible person to give you the full realization. You read with all your humility, with full surrender to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada will give you the final realization. This is not an academic study. We need to understand this thing. This is a very spiritual, devotional study. Dibbo Gyan Hriday Prakashita. It will revelation. It depends on today. Prithu Maharaj Prabhuji was also telling it is a revelation. It depends upon the revelation. And the revelation depends upon our surrender, how much we are humble, how much we are ready to our reception, how much we are ready to receive things. So this is the mystery of disciplic succession. When the spiritual master is bona fide, then one can hear Bhagavad Gita directly as Arjuna heard it. Just see directly. There are many mystics and yogis all over the world, but Krishna is the master of all yoga system. Krishna's instruction is explicitly stated in Bhagavad Gita, surrender unto Krishna. One who does so is the topmost yogi. This is confirmed in the last verse of 6th chapter, Yogi Namaku Sarvesham. So here, and we have heard Krishna, Narada, the direct disciple of Krishna, Narada is the direct disciple of Krishna and spiritual master of Vaishya. Therefore, Vaishya is bona fide as Arjuna because he comes in the disciplic succession, and Sanjay is a direct disciple of Vaishya. Therefore, by the grace of Vaishya, Sanjay's senses were purified and he could see and hear Krishna directly. One who directly hears Krishna can understand this confidential knowledge. If one does not come to disciplic succession, he cannot hear Krishna. Therefore, his knowledge is always perfect, at least as far as understanding Bhagavad Gita is concerned. Just see, that is what I was telling. One who is not in disciplic succession, who has not surrendered, that here I just want to make a point that disciplic succession does not mean that the bona fide, the Dikha Anushthan, the ritual of Dikha Anushthan may not happen. But if he surrendered to Srila Prabhupada's teachings, accepted Srila Prabhupada as a preeminent Shiksha Guru, then also revelation will happen. A wonderful revelation can happen if one accepts Srila Prabhupada as a. Initially, we should accept Srila Prabhupada as our preeminent Shiksha Guru. Then In due course of time, we get initiation and we get official connection with disciplic succession. But that does not mean that a person who has not got that official initiation will not able to get the real knowledge. So this is very important, that and that means following Srila Prabhupada's instructions, following four agreed principle, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, associating with the devotees without any offense. So these things are there. Simple things, actually. I was hearing one Prabhupada lecture today about nectar of devotion. Prabhupada was telling the capability of walking is already there in the child. The sex impulse is already there in the living entities. Only in due course of a situation is required to manifest it. Similarly, bhakti is there. Only a conducive situation. The conducive situation is what? The association and the practicing sadhana bhakti as instructed by our spiritual authorities. That will fructify, that will blossom the dormant Krishna consciousness within us. In due course of time, it will come. That is the thing. And I was reading one purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur given in sixth canto, at the end of that particular chapter where Ayamil got delivered. So there, Vishwanath Chakravarti was telling it is just a matter of time. The devotees who are chanting attentively, or at least taking a humble attempt, a genuine attempt to chant Krishna's holy name as perfectly, as attentively as possible, they will undoubtedly go back to Godhead without any doubt. This is the only time factor. Just we have to patiently wait. There is no shankshai, no shandeha should be there. Here Krishna said, Arjuna said, all my doubts were cleared off. So we should also not have any doubt, should have full confidence on Srila Prabhupada's instruction, on our previous Acharya's instructions. I will show let me finish. I will show that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's that purport. It is there in the end of the chapter. Amazing purport. Okay. So in Bhagavad Gita, all the yoga system, karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga are explained, and Krishna is the master of all such mysticism. It is to be understood, however, that as Arjuna was fortunate enough to understand Krishna directly, so by the grace of Vyasa, Sanjay was also able to hear Krishna directly. Actually, there is no difference between hearing directly from Krishna and hearing directly from Krishna via a bona fide spiritual master like Vyasa. The spiritual master is the representative of Vyasdeva. Also, therefore, added to the Vedic system, on the birthday of the spiritual master, the disciples conduct the ceremony called Vash Puja. So this is a further explanation regarding the Vash Puja section. So next verse. Rajan Shangsmritta Shangvadam Idamadbhutam Keshavarjunayo Punnam Rishami Cha Muhurmuha. O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. Are we feeling so? Are we feeling so? Are we recalling repeatedly Krishna's instructions? So, if we really want to feel this kind of thrilling experience, we should memorize some verses. This is the one objective of Bhakti Shastri. At least 45 verses has to be memorized, and among that, I think 30 some verses are there from Bhagavad Gita only. So this is the most important book among all the Bhagavad Gita books, Bhakti Shastri books. So all the books are important, but this is most important, and this verses, what Krishna has told, we can remember. And if we memorize and try to memorize and try to remember, we can, at least I have seen, in particularly in my daily commutation from my home to office, lots of distracting elements are there. And particularly the culture is becoming day by day very degraded. The dresses of people are becoming very, very degraded. And it really had a bad influence in the mind. And even chanting sometimes is very easy to chant. Chanting, we can chant without with lots of distraction also, because chanting is not very easy mantra. Mahamantra is very easy, na? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And we are so familiar with this mantra, we can chant at any situation. That is required actually. But another thing is that if we take an extra effort to memorize a verse, then our consciousness will be diverted, dovetail to that verse. And with that verse, some Krishna conscious element will come into our consciousness, which will bounce back the distractive element out from our consciousness. So some Bhagavatam verse which you want to remember, memorize some Bhagavad Gita verse, a little difficult verse you take and you memorize that verse. Difficult and also very instructive. So if you memorize those verses, repeat those verses in your mind, at least I have practiced, try to practice sometimes, and it really helps me. Actually, when I was doing my Bhakti Shastri, I actually memorized verses during my commutation, from daily commutation during that time. Every day I take a verse and I repeat throughout the day while coming, because when I was there in Kolkata, my commutation time takes at least every day 3 hours, 1.5 hour going, 1.5 hour coming, 3 hours. And actually, not only memorizing words, during commutation, I have completed many open books also. So why I have done Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Shastri online on road in one sense, because I was not getting much time in weekends. Also, many preaching activities were there, and throughout the day in office. So my Bhakti Shastri was online on road. So, but I will not suggest that thing. But anyway, that is how I have done. So, and during that, I can really cherish those memories, and during that time, I can remember that I was completely absorbed in Bhagavad Gita study. It was a really amazing phase of my life. Uh, Pondering over what points I should write in this open book, in this closed book, in this thing. It was full absorption because it was difficult for me. So I need to give time. So I will also suggest all of you, get deeper and deeper. See, Bhakti Shastri degree you will get anyway. That is not a very difficult thing. But this phase of study will not come back again. I can assure you, because so much sincerely, seriously will never study, because this. But if you are really want to go deeper into the deeper, I am really want to do a refresh course of Bhakti Shastri of my own. I want to write all the open book of my own, just to get deeper into this shastra, because I am anyway sometimes given this Sheva to teach Bhakti Shastri. So if I himself write, so that will give me further in-depth understanding also. So this is the thing, our scriptures, this Bhagavad Gita has immense potency into this. And more we go deeper and deeper and deeper, it will give newer and newer and newer realization, revelation. Okay. Recently, I have heard one wonderful analogy in this connection. I'm just forgetting. Let me remember. I was hearing one lecture. Some speaker was giving a wonderful realization that this every day, this newer and newer experience. This uh, what analogy I will remember, and later on I will share. So this is the thing. We should get this thrilling experience of Bhagavad Gita. Tacha Sangsmrita Sangsmrita Rupam. Sangsmrita, remembering, Smaran Dasha. So after hearing, I think Upadeshamrita has been done. Upadeshamrita is completed. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Upadeshamrita is completed. Na? So in Upadeshamrita, I think in verse number 7 or 8, there is a description of Shravan Dasha and then Shmaran Dasha. Can you remember? So here actually Sanjay was exhibiting that after Shravan, his Smaran Dasha is coming. So that means he has heard it with full attention, and it has been completely absorbed, has been synced into his consciousness. And that's why he's able to remember. So we have heard so many lectures, so many things, but throughout the day, if we see what we are remembering, How much we are remembering, how much Krishna's remembrance is coming into our mind, into our thought. From that we can understand. From our own, we can introspect and we can understand where our Shravan is standing and where it should go. So this is very important introspection we should do every day. So that's why it is not possible, because we are sadhakas. At least I can say about myself. Sadhakas, that's why the routine is given. A routine practice will bring us into this situation. Tasya smritta, shangsmritta, shangsmritta. He is remembering again and again. Rupamata adbhutam hare, vishmayo me mohan rajan, hishyami cha punah punah. Again and again. O King, as I am remembered the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. So this is the ecstatic moment of a devotee. It appears that Sanjay also, by the grace of Vash, could see the universal form of Krishna exhibited by Arjuna. It is, of course, said that Lord Krishna had never exhibited such a form before. It was exhibited by Arjuna only. Yet some great devotees could also see the universal form of Krishna when it was shown to Arjuna, and Vasha was one of them. He is one of the great devotees of the Lord, and he is considered to be the powerful incarnation of Krishna. Vasha disclosed this to his disciple Sanjay, who remembered that wonderful form of Krishna exhibited by Arjuna and enjoyed it with him. So this is what Krishna's form. So this should come automatically. If we hear Hare Krishna Maha Mantra attentively, we can naturally remember. We need not to take artificial effort to remember Krishna's form. It will reveal in our heart naturally. That should happen. So this is what actually happening with Sanjay. And this last verse, Jatra Jogeshwaro Krishna Jatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutirdhav Dhruvaram Nitir Motir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, external power, and morality. That is my opinion. So here important thing is one important point I would like to highlight. Jatra Jogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara. Dhanurdhara. What is the meaning of this Dhanurdhara? What is the import of Dhanurdhara? Dhanurdhara means the readiness to act according to the instruction of Krishna. Dhanurdhara means Partha is now again Dhanurdhara. He has kept aside the Gandiva Dhanu in the Vishad Yoga section. But here, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, he is again Dhanurdhara. That means Arjuna is ready to act according to the Krishna's instruction. So our surrender, the exhibition of our surrendered mood should be that we should be ready, prepared to act according to the Krishna's instruction, our spiritual master's instructions. That's why we need to always be under the shelter of some spiritual authority, and we have to discharge our routine devotional service under his guidance. And we have to increase, we have to go get slowly out from our comfort zone. We have to reduce our comfort zone, and we have to increase our outreach zone, our sadhana, our everything, our achar, bichar, prochar, everything should increase. Achar means our bichar means studying scripture should increase. Our achar means our practice of Krishna consciousness should increase. Our prochar, our preaching of Krishna consciousness should increase. So we have to increase these things. We have to reduce our comfort zone. Saying is easy, practice is difficult. I am struggling myself very hard, but at least we should give a genuine attempt. Krishna is saying, we are squirrel, we are not Hanuman. Yesterday was Hanuman Janmotsav. So squirrel need to do whatever is possible for the squirrel. Squirrel was trying to build the bridge for Lord Rama. The maximum capacity, he was bringing one small particle of pebbles rather. And Hanuman was bringing big boulder. So Srila Prabhupada was like, Hanuman, he has made the bridge with the big boulders, and he has also engage us to continue this bridge, continue to build this bridge of preaching. Bridge means outreaching. We have to win many Lankas. First of all, our inner Lanka is there. It is also burning with lust. So we have to, Ravana like passion is there inside us. We have to first, what I can say, extinguish that burning by taking complete shelter of our spiritual authorities, our spiritual masters, our Srila Prabhupada books, our holy name. And then we have to outreach to win many Lankas. So we have to be like Dhanurdhara, prepared, act for action, call for action. The Bhagavad Gita is a call for action. It will not, it is not teaching us that, okay, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, now I have to renounce my everything and I am now going to take sannyas and want to live in the solidarity of Himalayan caves. No, no. This is what actually the wrong misconception of entire Sanatana Shastra. That practicing spirituality means we have to renounce everything. No, we have to renounce the spirit of enjoyment. And we have to act according to the need of the hour. The need of the hour is the entire world is in chaotic situation and Krishna consciousness is the only solution. And if we are not acting to mitigate this problem, then we are acting. That is actually the balance. Prabhupada explained in Bhagavad Gita chapter in the what is hingsha. Hingsha means we are not giving, we are not doing the real welfare, the real welfare of the soul. The Bhagavad Gita is meant to do the welfare of the soul for us and for others. So that is how the Bhagavad Gita is all about. So thank you so much for your patience and thank you and also and my forgiveness. This course was supposed to be end in the month of January and today it is April. So it is January, February, March, April, 3 months delay. I'm very sorry for that. So anyhow, you have tolerated me somehow or other. So any question, any comments, any suggestion? So I think the next week some week will be given by the end of this month. Maybe I don't know how much time is given for preparing for the closed book examinations will happen and you start giving the examination. So yes, I forgot. Before I forget, I would like to share that wonderful purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It was really amazing purport. I think I have closed it. Ajam 6:3:45. So this is the verse. Mriyomano harer namo grinnan putra upacharitam ajamila apo agadhamo kimuto shraddhaya grinnan. So while suffering at the time of death, Ajamila chanted the holy name of the Lord, and although the chanting was directed toward his son, he nevertheless returned home back to Godhead. Therefore, if one faithfully and inoffensively chants the holy name of the Lord, where is the doubt that he will return to Godhead? So Ajamila was chanting at the time of death, but we are chanting every day. Ajamila was chanting his name, his child name, Putra Upacharitam, but we are chanting Krishna's name. Okay, so we are chanting every day, and Ajamil has chanted Narayana, but we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Jugala Mantra. So Jugala Mantra means here Radharani is there. Here only Lord Narayana was there. So, and Ajamil has not meant Narayana. But we are at least trying to mean Narayana, trying to mean Hare and Krishna, Radha and Krishna. So if we chant faithfully, Shraddha, how Prabhupada has translated, Shraddha with faith and love. And here he is writing another thing, faithfully and inoffensively. Love means inoffensively. If we have love, we cannot commit any offense, isn't it? So if we do that, there is no doubt of that we will not return back to Godhead. In this lifetime, Prabhupada has many times mentioned, complete the business in this one lifetime. At the time of death, one is certainly bewildered because his bodily function are in disorder. At that time, even one who throughout his life has practiced chanting the holy name of the Lord may not be able to chant the Hare Krishna Mahantra very distinctly. Nevertheless, such a person receive all the benefit of chanting the holy name. This is coming actually from one Purana where uh, Vamanadev is giving this assurance that even though I will share the exact verse is there. Amazing verse, amazing hope-giving verse is there. Yes, Varaha Purana. It is Varaha Purana. यदि बातादि दोषेनो मद्भक्तो मम न च स्मरेत् अहं स्मरामि मद्भक्तं नायामि परमं गतिम्. If my devotee is not able to remember me at the time of his death because of the great disturbances felt within the body at that time, then I shall remember my devotee and take him back to the spiritual master, spiritual world. Quoted by Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan in his commentary on text 88 of Vishnu Sahasranama, translated in English by Kushakarta Das, the Krishna Library. So, and this is the book, this is the thing, Varaha Purana, it is mentioned. Just see how much Yat Yadi Batadi Dosheno. So, this is what actually Prabhupada is mentioning. Nevertheless, such a person receives all benefit of chanting the holy name. So we have to chant now. So while the body is fit, therefore, why should not we chant the holy name of Lord loudly and distinctly? Sometimes we chant, what is this? Okay, sometimes we may feel tired. We have to wake up early in the morning. Our routine is not very ideal. So, okay, take a break, give some splash of water, drink some water, and come back. Start walking, chanting, even if it is not possible to sit and chant. We should do some endeavor. That is the endeavor to hear Ekagrana Chatush. That is what Krishna is expecting. Krishna is asking Arjuna, have you heard it? So Krishna will also expecting to us from us, are we hearing this Mahamantra? Are you chanting attentively? Krishna is asking us. Krishna is waiting for that attentive chanting actually. It is not that this is only for Bhagavad Gita, it is only for everything. Krishna, is it very, very great expectation from Krishna? The same Krishna who has actually maintained since time immemorial for all our needs, has met all our desires. From that a personality, is it a very great expectation? Can we not meet this expectation at least? This is the only expectation Krishna is having, that you hear my name, you hear my instructions attentively. So as long as we are fit and fine physically, we should engage our energy. At least the time when we are doing chanting, we should chant, hear, pronounce distinctly and hear clearly. If one does so, it is quite, that's see, Prabhupada is giving so wonderful hope. If one does so, that means loudly and distinctly. Prabhupada is also asking that when we are fit, why should we not chant? Why we should not chant the holy name loudly and distinctly? If we chant loudly, we'll hear very clearly. Yes, obviously, when we are chanting with the devotees group, we should not chant loudly. We should chant as loudly as possible where what I can hear. Okay. So if one does so, it is quite possible that even at the time of death, he will properly able to chant the holy name of the Lord with love and faith. In conclusion, if one who chants the holy name of the Lord constantly is guaranteed to return back home, back to Godhead. So we have to increase our chanting, our reading, our hearing, our preaching. That is what Achar Vichar Puchar. So then the supplementary note from the Vishwanath Chakraborty Thakur. So the Vishwanath Chakraborty Thakur commentary to text 9 and 10 of this chapter, earlier this of this chapter of the text 9 and 10, from a dialogue concerning how one can become free from all sinful deeds. You can read this thing, this is a supplementary note. I will just want to read the last part of this section. This last part. One may argue, since he was constantly chanting the name of Narayana, how was it possible for him to be associating with a prostitute and thinking of wine? By his sinful action, he was bringing suffering upon himself again, and therefore one may say that his ultimate chanting of Narayana was the cause of his being freed. However, his chanting would then have been a namaparat. Namna balajasya hi papabuddhi. One who continues to act sinfully and tries to neutralize his sins by chanting the holy name of the Lord is a namapurati, an offender to the holy name. In response, it may be said that Ajamina's chanting was inoffensive because he did not chant the name of Narayana with the purpose of countering the sins. He did not know that he was addicted to sinful actions, nor did he know that his chanting of the name of Narayana was neutralizing them. Thus, he did not commit a namaparat, and his repeated chanting of the holy name of the Narayana while chanting while calling his son may be called pure chanting. Because of his pure chanting, Ojamila unconsciously accumulated the result of bhakti indeed. Even his first utterance of the holy name was sufficient to nullify all the sinful reactions of his life. To cite a logical example, a fig tree does not immediately yield fruits, but in time the fruits are available. Just from here, just read here properly. Similarly, Ojamila's devotional service grew little by little, and therefore, although he committed a very sinful acts, the reactions did not affect him. In the Shastra, it is said that if one chants the holy name of the Lord even once, the reaction of the past, present, and future sinful life did not affect him. To give another example, if one extracts a poison fangs of a serpent, this saves the serpent's future victims from poisonous effect. Even if the serpent bites repeatedly, similarly, if a devotee chants the holy name even once, often inoffensively, this protect him eternally. He need only wait for the result of the chanting to mature in due course. Just see the last sentence. Similarly, if a devotee chants the holy name even once inoffensively, this protects him eternally. He need only wait for the results of the chanting to mature in due course of time. What else we need? Just see the last sentence. This is in 6th canto, chapter 3, verse number 49, the last part. I think if we keep this thing anywhere where we can see, where we are chanting, we will have full faith in chanting. And what else we need to have in our life? By our chanting, we can actually surrender what Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita. Surrender unto me. This is the only way we can do it. And we should have eternally, we have to do this one humble attempt. We have to try to chant inoffensively. This attempt should be there throughout our life, through in each and every dealings with our devotees, each and every dealings with our not only devotees, for any person, for any situation. If we can remember this thing, because offending, blaspheming devotees is an offense. Blaspheming a non-devotee is a sin. It is a sin. That is that is the conclusion of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That is the book. Uh, that is the book. That is actually an essay written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur on the uh, Vaishnav Ninda. What is Vaishnav Ninda? And Vidwan Gaurang Prabhu, who is one of the secretary of His Holiness Japataka Swami Maharaj, has translated that into English, and that has been published in the book. You can search in Amazon; it is available. Wonderful book. Initially the Bengali in Bengali language, the Bhaktivinoda Thakur books is there. The essay is there, and Prabhuji has translated. And unfortunately, I happen to be I am Vidwan Gaurang Prabhu is one of my Shiksha Guru. So I have discussed this thing and read this book. So if you want, you can also buy and read this book. What is the meaning of Vaishnav Ninda? Okay. You can understand and get full clarity. And in that section, Bhaktivinoda clarifies that offending a Vaishnava, blaspheming a devotee is an offense. And doing something awkward, doing something bad to non-devotees, general public, is a sin. It is sin. Sin, what is the difference between sin and offense? Sin affects our gross body. Sin affects our gross body. Gross body consists of the material body, actually. Material body. Offense affect our soul. So offense creates hindrance in our bhakti. Gross body creates the sin creates our hindrance in our material life. Okay. So very wonderful essay you can read. So just some side topic has come regarding this. So main thing is key we should have full faith in Krishna's protection, and that's why we should surrender to him. Krishna is a person who can give protection. Ramachandra is the person who can give the protection. No one else. That is all about Sharanagati. So Bhagavad Gita is a book for Sharanagati. Sarva dharmang parityajya mamekam sharanang. So that is the thing. So thank you so much. And I again begging forgiveness for making you late in your flow of course. So thank you so much. Any question, any comments you can clarify, or we can end the class.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes.
Even if one chants with the fear at the time of death, he might chant the Hare Krishna mantra with fear. So it will have the same effect, Prabhu.
Yes. Chanting somehow or other, that will have a great effect.
But fear is a selfish motive, no, Prabhu.
Sorry?
Fear is a selfish motive. Maybe he is afraid of dying, or he is afraid of he is very sick, and because with that he is afraid. He is afraid that he is going to die. So with that fear, he starts chanting. So will that
What
have an
Ajamila has
effect?
done. Ajamila has also chanted fearfully. Na? He has chanted. He was calling his son to save him. He was not calling Narayana. So our Shastra is telling that, see, as for us it will not happen. At least as far as I have understood. Yes, fear is there. Fear is a uh, very deep emotion, very deep conditioning. Okay. Because this shows that we are a conditioned living entity. A liberated person does not have any fear. That's why fearlessness is the one characteristic of knowledge. In 13th chapter from 8 to 13, it is I think one is this fearlessness. And among the 26 qualities of the devotees is also fearlessness.
Hmm.
So fearlessness means that I have taken complete shelter of Krishna, who is Abhay Charan. So he is Mukunda, he can give liberation. So having fear means we have not completely taken shelter of fear, fear personified in one sense. So that is the lacking, But somehow or other, if we chant Krishna's name, if we see, one thing is that's why Onno Abhilashita Shunna, the meaning is, I think Bhakti Rasamrita Shunna is done or will be done. It is completed.
No,
Will
Prabhu.
be this section. Okay.
Yes.
We will see, we will study that Onno Abhilashita Shunnam, that verse will come and the definition of Uttam Bhakti. Lord knows our inner mood. Okay. Lord knows what is happening inside us. So that like Draupadi was uttering Govinda's name, Hey Govinda, out of fear of his getting ripped off. Gajendra also chanted Hari's name out of fear to get rid of crocodile. But he was saved. Draupadi was saved. Gajendra was saved. Ajamila was saved. Why not us? So if
But Gajendra was a king who already had that knowledge about the absolute truth. But conditioned soul,
we are also having the knowledge. We have got the knowledge in so many Bhagavatam classes. We are having knowledge in this lifetime. Gajendra was having in last lifetime.
yeah, I'm not talking about us, like who are already chanting, but a neophyte, like not a non-devotee, who has not done his.
If he can chant somehow Krishna's name, that can only happen if he say somehow or other get the mercy of Krishna. Otherwise, he will not able to chant. If he can chant out of fear Krishna's name, that is a sign of bhakti. He was having that bhakti. That is what, na? That is what Vishnu Chakravarti was telling. If somehow one offenselessly chant, offenselessly means innocently. Suppose Jagannath Rath Yatra is going, so many people are chanting Hare Krishna. So they after that moment, they might be doing all sorts of sinful activities, but that will not affect that chanting. That will affect the cross body. But that chanting, if he has, because if he is not having that mentality of Namnat Varajasya Papa Buddhi, if he is not chanting to get rid of Papa, if he is not having that kind of crooked mentality, he will get that benefit. Then that chanting will become inoffensive chanting. But if he is having that in crooked mentality, then it will not act. Ajamila case was, he was chanting innocently. He was not knowing any tattva. He was not having any knowledge, forgotten everything. Okay, so that is how it works. So that's why when we go out for Sankirtan, people are hearing someone, we are showing Bhagavad Gita, someone has Hare Krishna has told me. Maybe he is going to do something nonsense. Okay, but if he is not connecting that Hare Krishna and that sin, he is not understanding that he is committing sin. He is doing just like when we were I am from Bengali family, we were having non-vegetarian things, so we were eating all those nonsense stuff, and at that time we are not having that, we are committing sin, we are eating as a natural lifestyle, isn't it? So that is not a sin, that is we are not having the sense of sin, committing sin, but to sense of counteracting that sin with chanting. So that is in that time also, as we were in Indian culture, we have chanted some name of Krishna's. Joy Jagannath, like in my childhood, my father has given us the facility to organize Rath Yatra. So in my township, our Rath Yatra was the biggest Rath Yatra in that township. So we have chanted Lord Jagannath, Lord Balaram, everything we have done it. And we did not have any motivation that I am doing these things so that this I am committing sinful reaction, doing this sinful, this will be counteracted. These calculations were not there. So that has been counted as a Agyata Sukriti, and which has helped maybe, and it is not that like today Prithu Prabhuji was telling that have do you remember when you were in class, in your nursery class, any friend you remember now? Many people said no. Have you remember any class who are in primary section? No. Secondary section? No. Higher secondary section? No. So where those friends has gone? Are they sitting with you in this class? Are they practicing Krishna consciousness? Very rarely some cases might be there that they are connected with their childhood friends, but nobody is there. So that means the Shukriti has maybe they are practicing some, but most of the time, if you are connected, like I am connected with my school friends, nobody is connected with Krishna consciousness. But we have grown up in our childhood, played together, we have studied together, given examination together, but they are not there. We have done Rath Yatra together, but they are not got that benefit. But they will get benefit, maybe in some other life. It is eternally there with them. That one chanting, until and unless they have that motive, that crooked mentality, it is always there. So that is the benefit. So now we have to take that as a devotee, if we have this kind of assurance from our previous acharyas, how we should take, how much seriously we should take Krishna consciousness. It is just, it is like in Bengali, there is a proverb, Tire eshe tori dobano. Tire eshe tori dobano means a boat has already reached the shore, but just before reaching the shore, it has drowned. So our case is like that. We have got this wonderful boat of ISKCON, of practicing Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada has given that Krishna Prabhupada is driving this boat. Only thing we have to be the boat into this boat, in this boat, and have to practice till the end of our life. We should not get out of that boat. We should not do anything nonsense in this boat. And that will save us, make our life perfect. That is the only thing we have to do. I remember Bhakti Rasai Maharaj has told many times, I have heard from him directly, that we may be today a very, the example is there in NOD, in Nectar of Devotion. We may be, our is a ripe, what is that? Uh, green mango, but it will become a ripened mango. It is not mature. So that is the thing. Vaidhi Bhakti is like that. We have to be connected with that tree of Krishna consciousness. That is when we have to be in the association with the devotees, practice as it is. That's it.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very well explained.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
The
Thank you.
classes were wonderful, Prabhu, really.
I
With
don't
your
know.
busy schedule, you have taken so much effort and you have tried to deliver it was really wonderful. Thank you so much. Prabhu.
Please bless me that whatever I have spoken, I can practice in my own life always. Please bless me. Please pray for me so that I should not forget the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, of teachings of my spiritual masters, teachings of all the my Shiksha Gurus. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki
Krishna.
jai, Gaura Bhakti Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That's very nice of you teaching
Thank you,
us.
Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.